Hey! Breaking news. French president teaching Africans how to behave.
And he told to the audience of Kenyans to be quiet and leave if they didn't want to listen.
Of African Union, that was President Macky Sall, had to go and be begging for fertilizers. And since that day, I said, okay, fine, by 2028, Africa will be self-sufficient in fertilizer, and we are doing that.
So the French president, Emmanuel Macron, has done something at a summit that was held in Kenya, and it's mind-blowing. Like, bro, a whole French president doing this, like, geez. I don't know what you think about this, but we'll watch the video. And also, Dangote is calling out African leaders. Dangote is calling out African leaders that we should stop exporting. He is ready to invest. He is ready to invest. We should stop exporting, so that we will produce everything that we have into finished goods before we export them. This is what I have for you today. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. You don't lose anything by liking. Just give the video a thumbs up, comment whatever you think, subscribe and share.
Destroy our environment, open air burning, air pollution, and our beaches are dirty. So then...
Already? You're not waiting your turn.
We make order. Excuse me, everybody. Hey! I'm sorry, guys, but it's impossible to speak about culture, to have people like that, super inspired, coming here, making a speech with such a noise. So this is a total lack of respect. So I suggest, if you want to have bilaterals or speak about somebody else, something else, you have bilateral rooms or you go outside. If you want to stay here, we listen to the people. And we play in the same game. Okay? Thank you. Hey! Breaking news. French president teaching Africans how to behave. Colonial mindset. When I look at this,
You're not waiting your turn.
this is a total lack of respect.
It feels like France still trying to lecture Africa, reminding people of France's colonial history across the continent.
If you want to stay here, we listen to the people.
Follow and comment, is it normal diplomacy or colonial mindset?
Emmanuel Macron has told an audience of Kenyans to shut up or leave the room. So the president of France is in Kenya during his summit, in which he's hoping to have a better relation with Africans. He said that he wanted the relationship to change from one of exploitation to one of equal partners. But he walked to the stage and he took the microphone from the host, who seemed quite surprised. He took the microphone and he told to the audience of Kenyans to be quiet and leave if they didn't want to listen. He said that it was very difficult for people to speak about culture when people were talking. So he told them, get up and leave if you don't want to be in the audience. And this is a man who wants to prove to Africans that he can treat them with respect. He spoke to them like a bunch of school children. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine him speaking to a group of white audiences, telling them to get up and leave if they couldn't, if they weren't capable of speaking? And he's literally in Kenya to engage with Kenyans on a level par so that they can invest or do trade with each other. He literally could not wait his turn. He just marched up to the stage, took the microphone from the person who was hosting, and even they seemed surprised. They were like, oh, already you couldn't wait your turn? He just took the microphone and he said, it's very difficult to speak about culture when you are speaking. If you don't want to listen, get up and leave.
Beautiful people, please take a look at this video. This was Macron today in Kenya. Look at what he did. I want you to pay a great attention to this video, please.
It's dirty. So then...
Already? You're not waiting your turn.
Excuse me, everybody. Hey!
This is what some people's favorite, because you know, when we are giving these analysis here, some people come to the comment section and say, oh, you're claiming as if you know everything, blah, blah, blah. This is what Macron did today on the African continent. This is nothing else but condescendence on Africans in their own country, on their own soil. I hope you can see. I hope you guys can understand. See, for those who think that France or these Westerners would ever have a win-win business or bilateral relationship with you, you are wasting your time. It's about time all African countries started taking after the AES. Because these people, there is just no way under any peaceful means they would ever look at you as their equals. They see you as non-human beings. Great job to the AES. Every day you guys would keep seeing why the AES is the right thing to do in Africa.
What we need, first of all, is consistency in government policies. That's number one. And also the support of the governments here. Because, I mean, if you look at it really, what we lack in Africa is quite a lot. Because we're a continent of imports and we're not really exporting much. We export raw materials, which means when you export raw materials, you are exporting jobs. And when you import, you are importing poverty. Because you are creating jobs out there, not here in the continent. So I think with the support of the government, there's nothing that is impossible. And we, some of us, were really tired of seeing our continent going out there to be begging for anything. I mean, if you remember at the beginning of the war between Ukraine and Russia, the chairman of African Union, that was President Macky Sall, had to go and be begging for fertilizers. And since that day, I said, okay, fine, by 2028, Africa will be self-sufficient in fertilizer. And while doing that, we're opening 20 blending plants in areas where they don't have the capacity. Also, we're going to be at 12 million tons of urea. We're going to have massive potash and phosphate from Congo, Brazzaville. And we believe we will satisfy most of the demands of Africa. I mean, you look at it today with population of Africa of 1.4 billion and also rising, right? We don't have raw material for detergent, just to wash these clothes, which we need every day. We don't have. We only have 2 factories, one Egypt, 50 tons, 100 tons in Algeria. So that's why we also launched now 400,000 metric tons of linear alkaline benzene, which is the 100% raw material of detergent. So we have quite a lot of which before we don't have the capacity, but right now with the likes of Afrexim Bank, with the likes of Africa Finance Corporation, with a lot of support from other financial institutions. Following these two, there's nothing we cannot do in Africa. That's why we, as a group, we have now launched between now and 2030, we're investing $40 billion in various fields.
Is part of that the refinery?
Even now, I can give commitment to the 2 presidents that were here. If they will support the refinery, we'll build the identical one that we have in Nigeria, 650,000 barrels.
So the discussions are still early, though, but the 3 of you, it seems like you're trying to make this work.
It will work. There's nothing that can stop it. We have done the one in Nigeria, and that's why we're taking the bold move, which we have started already. Piling has started. We're building that one to a scale. 1.4 million barrels a day will give us will be the largest refinery in the world. That's number one. Number two, will have 10% of the entire United States of America's refining capacity. And this is coming with a lot of, petrochemicals. And you look at it today in Nigeria, if not because we have polypropylene, all the businesses would have collapsed because cement is packed in polypropylene, flour, rice, grains, everything. So nothing. And the cost now has shot up between just 45 days from $900 a ton to $3,000. That's no way you can afford it. So that is why we must learn how to build self-sufficiency. Right now, we have big financial institutions that are very hungry for big ticket items, and we are also big in terms of our own vision. You know, I mean, before, there's nothing that, any one of us will sit down and say, no, I want to build something like, I mean, when Samaila was heading our finance, long time ago, this was 2003, 2004, 2005, we were even paying 44% interest rate in Nigeria. We had to go to IFC to raise money. Was our first loan abroad was 478 million. And this thing can be done. 478 million, Samaila gave them a calculation that, okay, we need 3 years loan. They said, no, you guys, you don't know what you are talking about. You need 7 years. 2 years moratorium, 5 years payment. We said, okay, we agree because we are desperate for the money. When we took that money, we paid it back before the expiration of the moratorium, which is 18 months. 24 months, but we paid the money back in 18 months. So it is possible. Africans can do it. Let us not be scared. Let them not come and convince us that, no, somebody needs to carry our raw material to go and produce and bring the items here. I must really thank President of Uganda for taking this bold move. Stopping the export, they will be forced, they will come and produce. Why do you want to take the raw material, then you bring it back? We too, we have educated people, we have big financial institutions. It's not like before. Things have changed.
Have you guys seen this? While Macron was in Kenya today, he gave a speech and he brought up his old 2017 speech in Burkina Faso. Back then, he was very condescending toward Africa, but now his tone shifted. Look.
I have never really viewed the nations of Francophone Africa as being, in point of fact, a sphere of influence. And that is what I said back in November 2017 in my Ouagadougou speech. It is simply the desire to say that Africa is a whole. We are the true Pan-Africanists. We believe that Africa is a continent and that this continent has much to build. It is the youngest in the world. It therefore has an extraordinary demographic dividend. It is currently experiencing the fastest rate of growth in the entire world. Just last year, it saw growth that was slightly higher than that of Southeast Asia. And because of that, it really needs to be looked at in a completely different way. I no longer want France to view this entire continent as a private preserve where business leaders expect guaranteed rights or contracts simply because it is Francophone Africa, or where some have long thought that France provided a form of insurance, constantly intervening to make or break governments. I am here to tell you that this entire era is now officially and firmly over. Ever since 2017, that era has come to an end.
You could hear him say that it's the end of an era, but back then he was laughing at Africa. Personally, I think all the stuff that's going on with the AES alliance, it has made him take Africa more seriously. But let me know what you guys think. Comment below.
It's hard to say that Western Africa will not be present in this room. You have 3 countries.
French President Emmanuel Macron does not recognize Ibrahim Traoré or Assimi Goïta or Abdurrahman Chani. And he said that on African soil in Nairobi, Kenya.
Which decided, because of the coup and the behaviors of the military people in charge, to put them aside from the rest of the club, by the way, aside of ECOWAS as well and others. It doesn't mean that West Africa is not part of this meeting. The biggest leaders of Western Africa will be here. And beyond that, we've been very vigilant to have civil society, even from Sahel states, being present. Because we can disagree with some of these governments, quote to quote, but we never disagree with people. We love these people.
When he's referencing the governments of the Sahel states as governments, quote unquote,
because we can disagree with some of these governments, quote to quote.
Clearly, he is betraying how France truly sees those countries, that those governments are illegitimate. It looks like not even a taste of Kenya's legendary coffee could bring some sense into Macron's head. He was so happy to see his new best friend in Africa, William Ruto, Kenya's president. And then he had the audacity of saying something that I'm going to correct him right now.
It's hard to say that Western Africa will not be present in this room. You have 3 countries, and I do regret that, which decided, because of the coup and the behaviors of the military people in charge.
France has no moral authority to ever utter a word about coup d'etats in Africa. You see, there have been about 100 successful coup d'etats in Africa since the early 60s. France was behind at least half of those coups. One of them, in 1963, resulted in the assassination of Togo's first president, Sylvanus Olympio.
China has just received 6.9 tons of Kenyan avocado following 24 tons of apples from South Africa. These are actually among the first arrival of African agricultural product under the zero tariff policy that was implemented by China. This particular policy was enforced on 1st May to actually boost agriculture and consumer exports. China had made it clear that this particular policy will only work on 53 nations across the continent of Africa that has a diplomatic tie with Beijing, turning out that these 53 African nations will be having an access to the world's largest market consumer. And right now you've literally seen that the first arrivals are in China as we are speaking. China excluded Eswatini because Eswatini recognizes Taiwan, and it's turning out that last year 2025 the trade between Africa and China had hit 348.08 billion United States dollar, and 2026 expectations are literally high because now we are working on zero tariffs with China. Keep watching, we'll keep you updated.
So this is a whole France president, Emmanuel Macron, being in a summit in Kenya, and this man, like, hey God, and this is not even in France, oh, this is not Europe, this is Africa. What do you think? Do you think it's a disrespect for him to even get up? Because we basically have an MC. You know, you guys had an MC, and you could have just communicated through someone for that person to also take it to the MC, for the MC to probably say something to the crowd or something. And some people too are saying that this is disrespect to Africa because he couldn't have done this in Europe. He couldn't have done this in Europe because looking at how he got up, went straight, and the lady was even asking. It's like he's not even waiting for his turn. He just got up and went there, took the mic. Bro, I don't know what you say about this. I don't know what you think about this. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Let's know what exactly you think about this particular thing. And also, what Dangote said. Listen, I really like the bold move. And this is what I say all the time, that listen, we should begin to empower our own people, because it started with Nigeria giving Dangote the monopoly to sell sugar, to sell a whole lot of things that he's into in Nigeria. And just look at the population of Nigeria. One person giving them or selling sugar to them, selling all the other products that he has to them. Today, just look at Dangote. He's the richest. So we should empower our people in Africa. Trust me. And these are some of the results that we are going to see. Ghana has also started something of that sort. Now we have a mining concession that has been given to a Ghanaian for the first ever time. There is another concession that Gold Fields, their time is up, and I'm hoping and praying that the government will also give it to another Ghanaian, or probably give it to the same Ghanaian that was given it to, because he has the capacity. Let us empower and enrich our own people, and I'm telling you, they will do wonders. If they have the money, they will do wonders. So please, we should just stop some of these giving our stuffs to foreigners and all that. Bro, we have people who have capacity in Africa, and we should give them the chance to do this. Thank you so much for watching.